Boy, episode 13. I am your host, Michael, and I don't know why I'm talking like that. That's just very weird.
I was just going to say, what the fuck are you doing? You're scaring me.
I am.
What voice is that?
I kind of have my very cheeky Novesta style voice. I'm being very feminine today.
Very cheeky. You sound like someone who abducts people on the subway.
Matron. Yes,
Try your stiff upper lip.
Yes. I'm here today, basically, with also my co-host, Mr. Dave Wade, Lawn Boys Post 1975, the man who puts grim in grim fairy tales. Yes. We are here, basically, with a special guest, of course.
What does that mean? I have no idea what that means.
Well, because the fact you do those little sound-offs where it gets really
Oh,
dark.
that's right, yeah. But they're getting really difficult to come up with now.
I know. Well, you can stop doing them any time you want, because every time you do it, people are just like, Dave, that was fucking cool.
And I know, they're getting darker and darker.
Yeah.
You can only come up with new sound bites by just going more
You're going
dark.
further into the abyss, you're turning into Seraph. You know,
I'm slowly getting sucked into the event horizon of a black hole of doom.
It is, pretty much. I'm Lawrence Fishburne. But yeah, so welcome.
You think that's air you're breathing?
Yeah, I'm Lawrence Fishburne, you're Sam Neill, and this is Event Horizon. But we're here with the lovely Sarah Mortimer. Say hi, Sarah.
Hi!
G'day!
Yeah, she does I got gameplay.
You guys can't do it properly, and I forget how to do it. It's really
G'day, mate. Let's go put some kangaroo on the Barbie.
No! God.
We had an Aussie at my company, and when we have our pre-work meetings, it was really funny. He took it in good stead. I never called him by his own name once. Every time I walked by him, I called him Bruce or Cobber. But yeah, I said we were having this meeting at work, and I said, "So Bruce, what made you come from the island paradise of Australia to Bristol?" And he just pissed himself.
What did he say?
In his defense, it was because of his girlfriend, but he got the joke, because trust me, I live in a shit town. But we're just like, and someone else just said, "I'd never leave. Why did you leave?" To which then I said, "Because everything over there fucking kills you."
Who's gonna get a punch in the head? Someone's gonna get a punch in the head.
Do you remember the old Paul Hogan Foster commercials in this country?
Yes.
Where he goes to the theatre, he goes to the ballet, and he's in the gods with his missus, going like having a bit of the amber nectar, and the bloke comes running out into the screen, in his tights and twirling around, and he just goes, "Struth, that bloke's got no strides on."
Nice.
Oh, good days. True story. Paul Hogan used to be someone who talked people off jumping off the Sydney Harbour Bridge, didn't he? I think.
How the fuck did he become Crocodile Dundee? Did they just go, "Hey, you're Australian. Come over
He
here,
got
mate.
fed
Let's
up
do a
of
film."
failing people.
Pick him up off the street here, read these lines, and wrestle with crocodiles. You'll be fine.
Yeah, and
Do you
they,
look good in a leather jacket with no sleeves?
They hop along and hold this knife. You call that a knife? This is a knife. That's a
That's
spoon.
knife.
Oh, here's a spoon. Yeah.
Oh,
I
so
see
you
you
played
played
knifey
knifey
spoony
spoony
before
before.
then. Oh God, we are so racist on this show. It's ridiculous.
Disparaging the boot is a bootable offence.
It's like saying this is so black it stole my television. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, bah!
Oh, that is quite bad.
I know. I went, and lo and behold, it's ridiculous.
So whereabouts do you live in Oz?
I'm sorry?
Whereabouts do you live?
I used to live in Wesley, which is about... It was a suburb that was maybe like hour's drive out of Sydney centre. So technically it's Sydney, but it's like sort of the outer limits of the city, I guess. I'd explain it in Vancouver terms, but you guys wouldn't quite understand it yet, so...
Do you know what the greatest descriptive term I ever heard of the Australian accent is? From an American, which is, "Oh my God, they sound like the British, only less South African."
I know, I get called like, the most common is English, and I kind of let it slide because my dad is English, so that's fine.
You are birthed well, young lady. You're birthed well. Sorry.
Yeah, she's only part criminal. Oh.
Hey,
I never got this right, though.
Back to England eventually, so...
What sort of punishment is that? Hey, let's get rid of all the criminals in our country by sending them to an island paradise that's far better than the shithole we live in. I think we got that the wrong way around.
Because of koalas.
The majority of it is desert, so they're like, here, just figure it out yourself, and they're like, okay. And then
Isn't it basically you all live around the outside?
Sorry?
Is it basically you all live around the outside?
Basically, yeah. Like some people live.
You're like Japan, only with less mountain regions and nuclear waste.
Well, some people live to the desert, but I think that's the Aboriginals. I think live more inland. Don't quote me on that because I left when I was 10, so I didn't know as much as I should. Some people live out there, but it's like super remote and horribly dry and odd. I would like to go out there just to see what it's like because I've only ever been around the coasts a bit, like the eastern
I would
coast.
never leave my house because that's the only place I could guarantee there would be nothing that would kill me.
Oh no, honey. Frogs come up from the toilet, and there's spiders, and there's snakes, and sometimes giant stick insects. I don't know what you guys call them. Those aren't harmless. Those aren't harmful. They just sort of freak you out when you try to open your front door.
I shivered because I'm not scared of insects, but that bit in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom when she goes, "Oh, I broke a nail," and turns her hand around, she's got a mackie stick insect on the inside of her hand. Ooh, sorry.
No, I just hated the bit where it's like there was spiders everywhere. I'm like, no.
There's a dead person out here. There's gonna be 2 dead people in here. Sorry.
Those are good movies. I should watch them again.
It's my favourite indie movie, that is.
Which one was that?
Temple of Doom. Oh,
the second one. Yeah, that one was pretty good.
Okay, dokie, hang on to your potato, lady. You call him Dr. Jones, doll.
Cute.
Dr. Jones!
God, how old would that boy be now? Like your guys' age, probably.
He's in a Bolo Young movie. He made a martial art movie this is probably about 15 years ago, and I remember thinking, you look really familiar. And then I checked the credits. I just went, oh my god, you're fucking short round as an adult. That's scary, and you're really good in martial arts.
That's cool that he went on to do martial arts and acting and stuff. That's good. It's
in the documentary. It's on the Blu-ray edition, by the way. It's really funny.
Oh, cool.
By the way,
so he'd be like
best movies in the world, the ninja movies. I love the Ninja trilogy. Have you ever watched that, Dave?
Oh.
You haven't watched Ninja?
Ninja. Oh, Shokasugi. Oh, yes, no. You call it Shokasugi's Ninja.
Shokasugi. It's like the fact that he was like fighting Van Damme in Iron Eagle and
they gave Van Damme the billing for that movie, even though he's in like one fucking fight scene and one runaway scene.
Yeah, like fuck off, you know. I was the bad guy. No, you kind of weren't. You were just standing around.
He still had more screen presence in the fight scenes than I want.
I wanted to be the bad guy, but it didn't quite work out.
Shokasugi is the man. You know,
yes.
Especially the fact he's the only guy who could fight a ninja who possessed a hot female. Just saying.
Okay.
Are you saying ninjas can't pull decent birds?
Well, they have to inhabit their bodies.
Oh.
That's
avenge themselves.
Honestly, people out there in podcast land, we do have topics.
Yes. Let's.
And now just me. I'm just kind of lost. No worries.
Well, Dave, talk about the thing that's on your mind, because what we usually do, we start the show off talking about what's on my mind and what's on Dave's mind, and I will talk about what's on my mind a little bit. But let's go to Dave because he's going to rant. I'm going to talk nice stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to. Well, my Wednesday vlog was on. A few people have talked about it, but I was a little bit late to the party. But that's because I only vlog once a week, and the rest of my time is made up with pointless gameplay videos and me saying the word bollocks a lot. The education authorities in Cheshire, or for those of you in North America, it does make me laugh. Cheshire.
Yeah, no, I'm better than that. Continue.
Thank you. I shall. Yeah, the education authorities in Cheshire, who run 16 schools, the headmasters of all these schools sent a letter to every parent of their pupils saying if they didn't police their kids' games, they would, age-restricted games, they would call the police and social services.
Wait, what?
Yeah. I mean, really.
That doesn't even... Why?
Are you Batman? Are you going to fucking go to people's houses and look through their fucking windows?
Well, the thing, this is why it annoyed me, which is because someone said, well, their heart's in the right place. And I went, well, maybe it is, but the point is, A, did they actually talk to the police and social services about this? I wonder how, I'd really like to know how they feel, because they've not released a statement or anything.
And B, are they being voyeuristic because they're creating a criminal offence anyway if they're going through people's windows looking in them to see if their kids are playing video games?
It comes down to the fact that if they hear, this is where it gets really Big Brother. It comes down to the fact that if they hear a child in class talk about playing a game that they're not old enough to play, then they'll call the police. Now, my problem with this is it's this is a topic for another time, which I've done many times on my channel, which is this link between violent games and violent movies and people becoming fucking criminals is bullshit. It's, you're going to be a criminal anyway. You're going to be a murderer anyway. You're pre-wired that way, Yeah. Whatever the trigger mechanism is, it was in you all along. So the fact that people need to pen this down on, it was a video game or it was this, just so they can sleep easy in their bed at night.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, it's like, I'm sorry, people, the world is a nasty place. You look at the fucking Crusades. The world is a nasty place way before fucking video games and movies.
Yeah.
I don't understand this mentality where they have to. Well, I think it's basically because people are insecure, and if they can pin something down, then they can feel safe and secure in their own world of ignorance and idiocy. But the thing that really annoys me about this is, you could be. Well, you've watched my video, you'll see my massive rant on it. I got quite vocal at points, which is you could be the greatest parent in the world. You could have very, very high moral standards. You can, police your children's internet, what they view, what they watch. But you cannot be held accountable because no parent, for the best will of the world, can watch their child 24/7. You cannot be held accountable for the fact that your kid sneaks around his friend's house, whose parents may also have the same high moral standards as you, but kids will be kids, and they borrowed a dodgy movie or a game off someone at school. So they watch that, they repeat a potty word in class, and all of a sudden you got the old Bill knocking at your door in social services.
Just say this: when I was a kid, I used to go around to my friend's house and watch porn.
Really?
Yeah.
Why am I not surprised?
How old were you?
He lived next door to the school. I was 17. He lived next door to the school.
You were not a kid then. You were a fucking adult.
Well, I was a young adult.
Close to an adult, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, I would go to his house and he'd put on porn and like look at this stuff, and I'd look at it and go, oh, okay, that's cool, and then I'd go home, and then the next time like I would go around his house, he would just be like, hey, I'm watching porn again. I'm like, cool, and that's pretty.
See, hang on a minute. I'm not going to name stuff, but based upon what you just told us in the pre-show, right? So you had no problem going around someone else's house and watching porn with them? Who am I kidding? It's what we did when we were kids.
No, it wasn't watching porn with him per se. It was sort of like, hey, can I borrow that?
Oh,
and that was it.
I'm amazed you can still see Burhan.
Trust me, it's like the news article that I posted on April Fool's about the guy who died from masturbating 42 times in consecutive row. I've tried it, doesn't work. Just saying, right now, doesn't.
See, the thing is, right? You could have the highest libido. This makes me sound like God. I'm getting old. You could have the highest libido in the world, but my brain just goes, as an old man now, that sounds like a lot of work.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah. I think I'll just watch football instead.
Yeah. But the thing about this is I'm probably one of the dirtiest fuckers on the planet, and that's probably contributed.
No shit, Sherlock.
Yeah, that's probably contributed to me being the dirty fucker that I am. But it is.
Anyway, if we can steer away from this porn horse, any thoughts on what I just said?
What I'm trying to say is his mum didn't know that he was watching porn. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because kids will be kids.
Yeah.
When something, this is the point I made in my rant about it, which is when something becomes, contraband to you when you're a child, it becomes the holy grail to seek it out. It makes it that much more special.
Right? Basically.
Yeah.
Plus, also, it's what annoys me is in this country, it's very much, even though it's wrong, it's not innocent until proven guilty. It's you're guilty, prove your innocence. And so the fact that a brilliant, morally upstanding parent who's done their best for their child, and then their kid sneaks around their mate's house one day and then says a potty word in school, and then all of a sudden you got social services knocking on your door, which could have very, very serious consequences. It's like,
Yeah,
really? Am I not the only person who thinks this is a tad fucking Big Brother and overkill?
Yeah, that is overkill. So it's like, it's not really others' responsibility for how you parent them. Like, okay, if you neglect your kid, then yeah, that's pretty serious. But like, why waste everybody's time and resources for stuff that like is really up to the parents' decision? Like, save your
That
job
makes me
when
wonder
you're
why the
supposed to
police
do your
haven't released a
fucking job.
statement on it, because I'm pretty sure the minute this happened, the police just went, "Oh, for fuck, serious? Well, great, brilliant.
Exactly.
Why don't you just slap me in the face with 15 foot more of red tape?"
Okay, this is what my opinion is on the whole situation. No one should be policing your children but you. If you're a parent, you should be a good parent. If your kid is fucking playing nasty games at home that you're buying for them, then you're the moron who's going
Oh
to
yeah,
get caught.
exactly. No, that's my
Like,
point
maybe
as well. I
you
made,
should, yeah.
which is, I'm not justifying the fact that kids should play. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I played, well, when I was a kid, it was Spectrum and stuff like that. So how graphic could the game be? But at the same time, people still, like Mortal Kombat went on about, oh my God, won't someone please think about the children? But I'm not justifying the fact that I do think that when parents turn around and say, oh my God, my kid learnt a potty word. Well, why did you give him an 18 rated game? It had the word 18 on the front of the box.
Well, it's like
It's
when I
not
was
intended.
swearing. I was
They
swearing
can't
as a kid.
fucking read.
I was swearing as a kid, and my mum used to go to me, "Who taught you how to fucking swear?" And I was like,
Arnold.
"Yeah, yeah." Do you know?
Please, let's think about that for a minute.
My parents are, no offense to them. They used to go in another room to argue because they were afraid we were going to pick up the swear words. But my mum would be screaming so loud in the other room. My dad would be shouting so loud we could hear them.
Yeah.
Right, so.
But that's all right because you were too busy watching porn.
Yeah. But it was funny as a kid sitting there listening to two Turkish people sitting there swearing at one another, and that's the way with my little minions, when they picked up swear words, I wouldn't swear in front of them. Their mother would. So my daughter said to me one day, "Close the fucking gate," and I'm like, "Who?" My eldest daughter went, "It was mum. It was mum that said it," and she's a little kid, just like laughing and swearing. And I went to her, "Sweetie, don't ever say that again." And she goes, "Why, Daddy?" I said to her, "Because this is wrong. This is why it's wrong." And I went downstairs to her mum and went, "What the hell?" And her mum was just like going to me, "Oh, I didn't." I was like, "You said close the fucking gate to her, didn't you?" "Okay, I did." "Right. Can you do me a favour? Watch what you say in front of them."
Because I'm not defending him, but this is where people become slightly, complacent in the sense that you let your guard down for 1 second and you say something like that. You seem to forget that we forget that when a kid hears something for the first time, it almost comes back to contraband. It's like, it's the big deal. It's the fucking nuts.
Because no one, it doesn't cost the earth to be a parent. That's the truth. You monitor what your kid's doing. You make sure they're not doing anything wrong. Right, I'm totally afraid of my kids.
I thought you said make sure they're not doing an elephant wrong. Sorry.
No, anything wrong. I'm afraid for my kids in a sense of stuff that they do. I always monitor them. I always make sure that, if something's going on, that I know what it is. If they're being bullied at school, I always check to make sure that they're not being bullied, if they're lying or if they're telling the truth. And monitor the situation.
You tell them to shut the fucking gate, sorry.
But that's, and I have to hold my hand up. I'm kind of ashamed of doing this. I did watch my daughter being bullied once and then tripped the kid over in the park.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's protection.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it was right or wrong, people out there, before you say, like, oh, you condoning,
I didn't beat the kid. I just stepped my foot out and she fell over.
Yeah.
And then she went crying to her parents. The parents go, "Did you trip over?" I was like, "No." But it was one of those things where I look at it at this perspective. If you raise a brat, your kid's going to be a brat. If you raise someone without morals, they're going to be immoral.
If you raise someone without morals, you pollute the gene pool because it just trickles on downwards because they have no morals, so therefore their children will have no morals, so forth and so on, and you create a species of ignorant swats.
Yeah, and this is the thing.
Pick up what you do. They're actually really observant, like more observant than you think.
Yeah, and this is the thing.
Fast as well.
Well, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, but in the end of the day, parents have to be allowed to make their mistakes. The moment we start playing
that's it. That's the key word here, which is mistakes will happen. It's part and parcel of humanity. This is why this thing really put a bug up my ass, which is coming back to what I said, which is you could be the greatest person in the world, and all of a sudden social services knocking at your door because something that was completely out of your hand that you would not have allowed in the first place anyway, and all of a sudden now the fucking state is calling you a criminal.
Yeah.
Bollocks.
There is the definition of the criminal. There is no person calling you a criminal if your child is doing something wrong and they don't condone it. All you can do is lecture the parent. It's like, I remember one of the schools tried to, when I was taking my kids to school, said, if your child turns up late, we're going to bill you. And I just laughed and went, really? So I went to the teacher and went, where in the law does it say that you can bill me for my child turning up late? Oh, well, we can do it. No, you can't do it.
We make our own rules up.
Yeah. I'm like, cool. I said, you can make up as many false charges as you want. I'm still not going to pay you.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if I don't pay you? Well, we could stop you. So you're going to stop my child having an education, which is illegal.
Yeah, exactly.
And they
went, everything you're doing is illegal right now.
Yeah, and I went, please tell me how you can justify this. We can't. Yeah. There you go. So I'm not doing this. I'm not taking part of it. You can't make up your own laws and rules. And this is what I'll say to that agency. Oh. You can't make up your own laws and rules. If you feel something bad's going on, lecture the parent. Don't be a dick.
Talk to friggin' people instead of calling the police.
Well, this is the, and I forgot to mention this in my video because when I do my, I don't know if you've ever watched my channel, so but Wednesday is my serious day for vlogging, and
yeah.
I just started talking about it and had all these things I wanted to say, and then the minute I started talking about it, my brain just kicked into anger mode and just went, but I just remember thinking, which is, don't call the police, but you could actually you could flip it and make it a positive thing, which is, by the way, your child mentioned this today at school. Are you aware of that?
Yeah. Like and what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, then it becomes something positive that the parent could then go like, is this true? Did you play this game? You know how I feel about you playing, breaking the rules that me and your parents.
That's what I'd do if I had kids. Like, I'd be like, my parents were kind of strict with us in the rating, and they'd look at the rating of every game we wanted to buy. So we wanted to buy like a role-play game, like Lufia, for instance, that was on the Game Boy Color. And they looked at it and they're like, what's the rating? And I'm like, well, it's E for everyone. We were like 11 at the time. They're like, oh, okay. And then we tried to buy the second Breath of Fire game on Game Boy Advance, and they were just like looking at it. I can't remember if it was teen or not. And they're just like, and I'm like, it's okay. We're like 12. We're almost there, and we're like mature. And they're like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But but I think that it was half of it was, we don't want you guys to pick up something that's not suitable for you yet. And I think the other half is trusting that your kids aren't going to be choosing something that's not right for them.
But then also there's the fact that if you've raised them correctly, they may play these games, and, if they're not pre-wired and predisposed to being a serial killer, they'll probably just go, what? I said a party word, I did this, but I can tell the difference between this and real life because I was raised correctly.
Exactly. Like, we started playing games when we were about 3 years old with my grandma, who's friggin' awesome. And we started off with the first Mario game. Like, it's just like, this is not real life. Like, this is a guy jumping on mushrooms, eating more mushrooms, and going down pipes with giant piranha plants.
Exactly.
Like, that's
But I mean, if it was real life, I'd be scared to eat a mushroom for not being able to fit into my current wardrobe.
Actually, what's really funny? They had an advertisement, and they had, there's like pasta lunch things in a can. They had like Pokemon ones and stuff. They had Mario ones, and then they had the ad where the boy ate the Mario pasta and then turned into like pixelated thing, like jumped around his house. It was like stomping on Goombas and stuff. And then my sister got the pasta. I looked at Mom. I'm like, Mom, is she gonna turn into like a Mario thing? And I was like really worried. And then she ate it. Nothing happened. Just like, okay, that's good. My sister's not a pixelated Mario person. That's fine. I was like 4.
Don't eat the pasta or you'll turn into a racist, stereotypical evolution of an Italian plumber.
Just gonna turn into Mario. I'm just gonna die.
Every time she went upstairs, did she go oink, oink, oink? Sorry.
No, it was totally fine. Nothing happened. I was just like, it was so weird. Like, I remember there's 90s commercials sort of, and there was this one where like Mario was like talking or something, and I'm just like, what? And now it's just I look back at them, I'm just like, I don't really remember many of these. And all the ones that I do remember, I can't fucking find anymore. So I was around for the 90s, sort of. I just don't really remember.
I was around for the 90s. You sound like an old rocker who was off his face on drugs. I was around for the 90s, sort of.
No, I was just a little person who was rather unobservant when I was tiny. Well, also we wore school uniforms. I don't know what it's like in England, but in Australia, whether it's a public or a private school, you always wear a uniform.
You do,
So-
yeah. And I learnt my dress code of Australian schools from neighbours in Home and Away.
Oh, I don't have the school uniforms anymore, but we had a summer uniform and a winter uniform. It was pretty.
We just had one because it's always winter over here.
Oh, yeah, and the school year started in like February and ended in December. So because our seasons were backwards, our year is different. So yeah, it was pretty. Yeah, the uniforms were okay. I think they've changed them. I found the website for my elementary school, but I think they've changed it now, so I can show you a picture. But I don't remember where I was going with that.
Do you know what's weird is very, very, very rarely if they're missing people from the team. There's a five-a-side football club that I don't play. I should do more often, but I don't play for very often. But literally, I'm just like the ringer, if you will, which is they're short. Dave, we need one more person, please, please, please. Oh, great! I'll just stand in the fence and do fuck all. But it's at my old school. My old high school. And what's really funny is every time we drive through the gates, I regress back to being like bloody, 12-year-old Dave, and I have that almost a little bit of sense of fear and intimidation upon me. And I start thinking, even though I know I'm just going to play five-a-side football, I start thinking about, shit, I can't remember what classes I have today. Oh, fuck. And that's the power of school, though, isn't it?
I'm looking at the website for my old school in Australia, and I'm getting like butterflies, and they had a gallery of like all these pictures.
I like the way you said old school in Australia. Apparently you only had one.
I was terrible at football.
Kindergarten to grade 5, I went to one school, and then we moved to Canada.
No, I meant Australia only has one school for all the children.
Oh, no, that's how I differentiate, because I went to 2 elementary schools.
As I said to someone at work, as I said to the Aussie who was at work, not the other day, the other month, which is, it's not racist if they're Commonwealth.
So racist.
Yes, maybe.
So yeah, let me go on to my little rant now. I'm not going to talk about rant because I want to say some good stuff today, because we usually have me basically sitting here ranting about life's problems and stuff. I will say the reason why we kind of cancelled last week's show, a lot of it was just due to the fact.
Yeah, by the way, Bone, I have a little chip on my shoulder about that.
Go for it.
I mean, I love you, you know that, but yeah. I just remember, because Sarah, I keep weird hours because I work nights, so even on my days off, I kind of keep nocturnal hours. But I just remember getting up and being prepared for the show and waiting, where is it? And it was announced on your Facebook page that it was cancelled, and you didn't even bloody tell me.
I did. I actually messaged you before I cancelled it, Dave, saying I don't feel up to it. I'm going through something.
It must be my internet then. Well, it is my internet. Yeah, we just answered that yesterday.
Yeah, I would always tell you before I'd cancel it. But the reason why I cancelled it, guys,
I cried all night.
I cried all night too. I was going through something. I basically, for those who don't know...
I know, I'm just taking a piss.
It's okay, we're here now.
I'm kind of a single... I am a single dad. And a lot of kind of some of the issues that we're going through, especially in this country at the moment, is the law...
Can I say this?
Yeah,
your wife's a cow. Sorry.
Yeah, well, my ex-wife.
Yeah.
She's a bit of an ass, and someone who basically will use children to kind of manipulate the situation. Now, what I kind of found out that she was dating someone. I didn't really give a crap about it, especially, it's kind of obvious when you come to the house saying that you had a job interview at 2 a.m, which was like, exactly.
That's like the most ridiculous lie.
I had a friend of mine say...
What do you mean you have a job interview at 2 a.m? Are you applying to be a cool girl?
my friend goes to me, look, she's dating a friend of mine, I know him, blah, blah, blah. I was like, cool, I'm fine with that. I ain't got an issue. And I was like, look, can you do me a favour? Let the kids know what you're up to so that the kids are prepared for this, right? And I went, secondly, kind of
Comes
ease
back
them
to what
in.
Sarah said, which is kids are very, very,
Receptive.
observant.
Yeah.
They're gonna fucking figure this out.
And so I basically, like, it was like I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't care, and I said this to her: I don't care. You're single. I'm single. Go do what you got to do. In the end, well, I was single. I'm not single anymore. But the whole like issue with this was she was going on, and she was like making up all these lies. Someone hacked my Facebook. Apparently, she's Kurt Angle now.
So I found my Facebook.
Someone hacked my Facebook.
It's the biggest excuse ever.
Can you tell this guy who has my photo and a message I sent him on his profile that I would go to the police? I was like, I don't even know how that will work. So she phones me and says afterwards, unless you can find a bigger place, you can't see the kids again. Because I need a bigger place, because the place that I'm living in currently at the moment is not sizable, and I was told by social services it's not sizable enough for the kids,
What? Really? They said that?
Yeah, it's not big enough. It's a room.
No, I know,
dude.
but surely the fact that you can have your kids over in a place that is safe, regardless of the size and controlled, is
It
good
can't-
enough for.
People slept in your
the
bed
thing is, it's
before
not. It's not even. I know, but it's not safe. Like when they come and stay with me, usually it was at my mum's, and because
okay.
yeah, and because at the time, their mother basically left them with us for a week and disappeared and didn't tell anyone. Decide, my now I've kind of lost that facility because my mother doesn't want to have.
Which I could, I mean, it's awkward for you, but I fully understand why.
Yeah, I do too. I've spoken with her about this. We understand we're on a level playing field, but I was kind of annoyed at first, but then I understood. And yeah, Restaurant goes, my cock takes up all the room. It's a crying shame. But yeah, the whole situation bound down to that. And she said, well, unless you get a bigger place, you can't see the kids again. So I had to basically go to my children's home on the day of Burhan and the boy, explain to the kids what was going on. She got annoyed because she was sitting there going, why are you telling them this? They're crying. Well, I'm telling them this because it's true. I'm not going to disappear. Well, why can't you just disappear and not have them hear from you? Because I'm not an asshole.
Yeah, like I'm being a proper parent, unlike you.
Yeah, and I said
I'm
to them,
taking
look,
my
I went,
responsibilities seriously and thinking about the repercussions of this action.
yeah, and I've explained to my
She's
kids,
not thinking about anything except herself. She doesn't care about her fucking children.
yeah. So I explained the whole situation to my kids. They got upset, and I said, look, I'll FaceTime you, and she won't even allow my kids to FaceTime me. I can't talk to them. I can't FaceTime them. I can't see them. So effectively,
I really
I've gone
dislike this.
to citizen advice. I've gone to like solicitors, you name it. I have to go and take her through courts to get my situation resolved. I can't afford it. And yes, a lot of people said there's Fathers for Justice. They'll help you. In this situation, there's nothing I can technically do.
You thought about dressing as a superhero and climbing the Houses of Parliament?
Apart from that, which will probably get me arrested, which again would stop me from migrating anywhere. So what I've done now is I've kind of have to put that situation to one side. Do I want to do it? No. Have I been upset about it? Yes. That was the reason why Burhan and the Boy was kind of cancelled that night, because I was deep in depression. Now, moving on from that, being depressed and stuff, I was kind of out of it for a couple of days, and then something happened. I met somebody. I'm extremely happy, and I've been extremely happy ever since.
Yeah, people, you didn't hear him in the pre-show. He was giggling like a titmouse.
Yeah, and I'm loving it. I'm having a great time with this person. We're having such an amazing time together, and it's great, and I'm enjoying myself. And the thing is, a lot of people said that I probably had bipolar disorder because I was always going into depressive states. People don't understand depression is a product of your environment. I know some people have bipolar and they can't control it, and I understand that, but those are the type of
That's manic, though, isn't it? Bipolar is massively elevated levels of euphoria, and then
everything's not working kind of to the specifics, and the thing about it for me is I'm a product of my environment. The environment itself was damaging, to say the least. And And until I kind of met this person, I didn't realize how I was treating my life in a sense. I saw everything as black instead of seeing things as different shades of grey. That, you know, in a sense itself.
Don't relate it to a porno.
No, I'm not. But you know, it's like there's an in between. There's never, for me, it was always bleak or happy. You know, there was never an in between. And then I realized something, and I was like, I'm kind of bringing it on myself because I'm throwing out negative waves and.
Yeah, thank you. I've been telling you this for a year. Sorry.
So I basically broke out of it, and then I started to realize. And then I sat there and I was like, okay, be positive. And since meeting this person, she's made, like, the last 2 weeks have been the happiest I've ever been.
And I'm very happy for you.
Yeah, and it's
Sorry,
been...
that sounded really cynical. No, I mean, I am very, very happy for you. Because obviously, people don't know this, but obviously Bern's one of my best friends. And behind the scenes, we talk a lot. So
Yeah.
you know, it's nice. It's nice that things have taken an upturn.
Yeah, and they've taken a huge upturn to the point now I'm very, very happy. I've been the happiest I've ever been probably since 2010. And it's one of those things I come out of it and I've realised that good things will happen. If you go on a certain career path, if you're on doing a certain thing, the career path I've kind of gone into, which is, you know, I do acting, writing, directing, you name it.
You write the theme tune, you sing the theme tune.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go on Jeremy Kyle. Go on Jeremy Kyle, Mike. He's made you so happy, Mike. 50 Shades of Snob, says Stephen Richards.
Why?
But basically, you know, the career path that I'm on, you've got to basically go through rejection.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
Yeah, and you've got to make
any
your own...
sort of art career, really.
Yeah, and you've got to make your own, you know, way, you know. And when it comes down to stuff like that, people have to realise that if you're going to be unhappy, you're the only one that's making you unhappy. You know, if you're going to be sitting there and this cloud of fog is going around you, the only person that can make you happy is you. You've got to look at the positives.
But also, obviously, because, you know, clinical depression is you know, a medical condition. I think also the other side to that is saying is it's also about realizing that you need treatment and help. And so the only person who can make you happy is the only person who can accept and understand that they're suffering from a medical condition and seeking treatment as well.
Yeah, and I agree with Dave on that. You look at the treatment that's available for you. If it's something that you know you can't handle, look at the treatments, look at the people that can help you and assist you, and find out what you can do to make yourself happy. Don't ever suffer in silence.
When you come here, I'd recommend that you look into getting treatment again. Probably not medication, because that didn't really work for you, but I have a thing here where it's New West Counseling. So it's actually psych students or nearly psych graduates, and they can do counseling or therapy sessions for extremely affordable prices, or possibly even free.
And also, Burhan, when you go there, my advice to you is, the other thing you want to watch out for is spiders that can fucking kill you. Sorry.
No, that's Vancouver, not Australia.
Thanks.
It's to Canada.
But yeah, for those people out there who basically understand, that's what you need to do. I'm happy. I'm the happiest I've ever been. I'm probably not going to go back into a manic depressive state. Never say never. But in terms of me, I'm fine. And all I say to people is look at what's going on and just try and do the best to make yourself smile.
Yes. Good advice.
Yes.
See, though, I mean, it's no secret because I did a vlog about it, which I did deliberately, not for like attention, but because I got sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, pull yourself together and stiff up a lip" and all that bollocks, which is, yeah. I suffer from anxiety, and it's under control.
Right.
But I sometimes I have really, really, really bad anxiety days, and I got sick and tired of people just saying, "Saw your life out. Just fucking. I don't understand why you fear this." And I've always, well, you don't understand because you don't have it, and if you don't have it, then there's no way I can explain it to you in a way that you'll understand because you don't have that sense of perspective that I have.
Yeah.
And so I did that video, that vlog, not, you know, for anything other than, well, just kind of cleansing demons for myself.
Like, this is the thing in my life, and that's how
but also because, I say it in it, which is, if I have this, other people have this, and it's important that they understand that this is perfectly natural and normal, and maybe it makes our day a little bit difficult, and we have to have balancing mechanisms for dealing with it. And I'm on meds for it, but the stigma out there for the people who have, and I hate saying it like this and I guess this means I'm falling for the stigma a bit, or falling in line with the stigma, which is it's not nice or wise in public to talk about mental health.
Yeah, but it should be. The thing is,
I know it should be. People automatically just go, "Oh, weirdo, mentalist. We're probably going to be a serial killer." I'm like, fuck off.
Yeah, it's
talking about what I have. I don't really care. Everyone's just like, "Oh, okay." Well, they're like, "I have that too." It's like, yay. Well,
yeah,
not
you
yay.
don't live in England, where, trust me, everyone walks around with a pole up their ass, and we think it's Victorian times.
Just there or everywhere. I don't know.
Although this is, I don't know why I remember this story fondly, but I'm going to tell you, which is when they gave me the wrong medication, and I took it for 2 weeks, and I had really horrible side effects. One of the most scary things I've ever experienced. Now, to put this out there, how scared I was, I watched horror movies. The gorier, the violent, almost ties back to my first thing I said in this vlog, the better, because I understand the difference between real life and, make-believe.
Yeah.
Well, the pills they put me on at the time, I didn't realize that their side effect was overly negative visualized dreams that creep into real life.
Oh God.
And so I remember having this dream that started off quite well, and then it's a while ago, but half my dream I spent running away from like a little waxwork doll.
Yeah.
And then I woke up.
Yeah.
Honestly, people, side effects don't... Well, this comes back to what I said about people not understanding, conditions and the side effect, But, I woke up, and I remember looking at the mirror, and I was in that weird haze... And this is what the pills exaggerate, that weird hazy state between being fully conscious and semi-conscious. And I saw the doll's face that was trying to kill me in the mirror, because the room I sleep in has a mirrored wall. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ! And... I thought, I'm going to stay awake for a few minutes to make sure that dream goes away. And then this was actually in the side effects. I checked them afterwards in the packet, which is you may experience visualization of writing. What I basically saw was I looked at my wall, and on my wall I saw it in glowing crayon. Just because you think you're awake, don't think you're getting away from me. And I shat my fucking pants and went to the doctor that day and just went, I am not taking these anymore. I think they make me hallucinate. And he goes, oh, that is a side effect. You just got to plow through it. And I just went, I ain't got to plow through shit, sugar tits, because being chased by a fucking doll that wants to kill me and then tells me it's still going to kill me when I'm awake is the most scary thing in the world.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Jeez.
Trust me, Bern, if you experienced it, you would have had a dookie the size of the Titanic.
I literally had that when I was a kid. My brother basically, I had my teddy bear Ted. For most people, probably knows the
Ted,
brand.
you unimaginative twat.
Hey, he was a good bear. He had his son Rabbit. He was awesome. I gave him to my daughter.
Was he called Rab?
Yes. I was a little kid, okay, and
yeah, well, I was a little kid, but at least I came up with Hogglespike.
I don't care. He was my teddy bear. I stopped sleeping with him at the age of 13 because I wanted to be a grown up, and I kept waking up in the middle of the night.
Because you stopped sleeping with him by the age of 13 because you've drifted apart and the relationship was no longer working.
But I kept waking up and he was lying there in my bed next to me because I had a bunk bed with my brother. And I'm lying there, I'm going, what the fuck is he doing back in my bed? And my brother just looked at me and went, maybe he knows he's alive and he doesn't want you to let him go. Maybe that's what it is. And then I woke up at 6 o'clock in the morning one day and my brother was standing with the teddy bear and just went, woo, I'm Ted, your dream. I was like, dude, put the fucking bear back on the wardrobe. And he never did it again. It was funny because I sat there thinking that this Ted probably had like feelings and that it was going to kill me.
But no, he did.
It was just your brother being ridiculous.
Percy's got feelings. Little cowboy dude's got feelings.
But it was terrible. I did another one where I basically got this. My dad bought this bear for my daughter and my brother's son called Bruin Bear. And the bear actually had a movable mouth. He's like, "Hi,
Was he from Boston?
Yeah, he was like, "Hi, I'm Brewing Bear. I want to play with you." And then I put a knife next to him, put him next to the toilet while brother was taking a shit. And then my brother took the batteries out the bear. He was just like, the thing fucking creeps me out. That's it. I'm not.
Do you remember Teddy Ruxpin?
Yes, he was. This bear was pretty much like Teddy Ruxpin.
That
Teddy
thing
Ruxpin-
is so fucking creepy. I've seen Five Nights at Freddy's and I'm like, I can't do this anymore.
Do you know what made me
No.
laugh though with Teddy Ruxpin was you could only use tapes, even though it was a cassette recorder. For those of you who are young and not old, like me,
I've
everyone
heard
else.
of it.
is-
Yeah.
Hey, I'm as young
it
as
was
a
a- it was
person
a-
that I feel, and I feel 21.
It was look at you fucking putting a soundbite in there.
Yeah.
He was a cuddly bear.
Yeah.
That you would put cassette tapes in the back and play. I guess to generation these days, it would be DVDs, and his eyes and mouth would move, and he would tell you the story, which is kind of cool. But what really annoyed me was that you couldn't put other cassettes in. I don't know how it did it, but it would only play Teddy Ruxpin cassettes because I always wanted to record Freddy Krueger off the fucking TV and stick him in Teddy Ruxpin.
Hey, kid, I'm gonna really cut your eyes out. But like,
No, I think it's only
Agent Smith.
fans,
Agent Smith.
with
Imagine
the
Teddy
fans.
Ruxpin looking at you and just going, "It's this place. I hate it. Every time I breathe it in, I feel I'm somehow being infected."
you know what you
Or
could have
Sweet
done?
Transvestite from Rocky Horror.
You know what
Yay!
could
That
have
would be
done, Dave?
amazing.
You could have got a bear from basically like Build-A-Bear and then recorded like a Freddy voiceover on the voice box because you
Oh,
do a
yeah.
custom one for like and it plays for 2 minutes. I did one for my son Rohan as Darth Vader.
Oh no!
I went, "Rohan, I am your father."
Just had the greatest idea in the world. We
What?
need three Teddy Ruxpins and find a way to make them play any tape. And because we got our general election next month, right? And so what we need to do is get these 3 Teddy Ruxpins, record when they do their TV show when they're all sounding off against each other, and put a tape of each fucking party in the back, and then film
Yeah.
Teddy Ruxpins talking it. Brilliant.
Wow.
Dave, you know
Teddy-
editing software has like voice editing on it. Just saying.
Yeah, but I use Windows Movie Maker because I'm cheap.
Yeah, but that even has voice editing on it.
Oh jeez.
Actually, true, yeah, because when I do my pickups in the wild now, I because of the fucking overly policing YouTube police wankers who don't go after the big people because they make you money, but only go after the small man pricks.
Yeah, come on.
If I do pickups in the wild now, which is very rare, because I don't want to be a pickup channel. Nothing wrong with people who do pickups. It's just something I do now and then. And when people say like, "Why do you do it all the time?" Because I don't have a massive wallet.
Well, that's the one thing I do.
I have to do a talkover when I'm in the game stores to make sure that I have a vocal track of mine across all the music that's playing in the
Oh,
stores when I
really?
secretly film.
So you don't get flagged. Ugh,
Yeah.
fun.
Although, by the way, Burn, I went back against what I did with I appeased Konami, and I thought it was after a podcast we did a couple of weeks ago, and I contested it because I didn't realize you could go back and recontest something on YouTube, and
you can now.
now I'm not Konami's lapdog anymore, and they can't say shit when I play their games.
Yeah, they try it, but then they get rid of it because the thing about this, what people don't understand is YouTube does it on their own. They will basically try to submit the claims on behalf of these companies, and then go to the company, "Do you want this person to have this video?" And then the company will give them a yes or no. They'll do it twice, and then the company will put in and say, well, the final time they'll be like, okay, well, if you put after they put the strike in, if you put a counter, they have the option to take you to court. If the company doesn't take you to court, the video gets restored.
Oh, fun.
Right?
Oh, mine was never taken down. It was just
Yeah,
said,
but
"Oh,
9 times
fuck
out of
it."
10, the company will just sit there and go, okay, he's not going to do it, fuck it. Unless the video is like making millions, there is no way that companies will even bother.
It's like
Unless-
tiny. Whatever.
Yeah, unless they're Nintendo, because Nintendo are fucking pricks.
Oh, Nintendo, yeah. Do you want to be a Nintendo partner on YouTube?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, Nintendo.
Big
Fine,
numbers.
delete all your content up to now and start again fresh and only play our stuff,
Yeah.
which
pretty
we're
much.
going to advertise on. That's not really a deal, is it, Nintendo? That's practically welcome to North Korea.
Their PR is weird. They make really good games, but their PR is weird.
Well, I've mentioned it before, but I'll do it again. I did a video on my channel which is called Nintendo Don't Get YouTube, which is they put this wonderful shiny feature in Mario Kart 8, which is you could play a game, and if you're online, you could send your highlights of that game up to your YouTube channel because you put your details in. And I did, and I liked it because I'm a cheap bastard. So this is the only time ever in my life I could do 1080p.
And
the minute I put the video up, they said,
like, we won't
by the way,
copyright
we own this video.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're breaking our copyright. And I thought, really?
It says do it in the game. That's so confusing.
Exactly. Yeah, you gave me this shiny feature, and now you're telling me I'm breaking the law unless I kiss your ass and let you put an advert on it, you prick.
Did you tell them that it was a feature in the game? Like, you technically allow me to do this?
I'm not fighting, you know, I'll fight many battles for my copyright and stuff, but I'm not fighting Nintendo. They're fucking the T1000.
I've fought them and won twice, but the problem is it is fucking taxing. Like, when they shut my channel down the first time, I had to wait a solid...
Why was that? It's been a while since you talked about
it. It was over a video that I did, because I used to do the Nintendo Direct analysis videos, because every time E3 would pop round, I'll do an E3 review, so I'll sit there and talk in depthly about E3 and what the pros and cons coming out of it. I did a Nintendo Direct one, and Nintendo tried to get my channel shut down over this video.
Oh,
they went, give us the claim to the video, or we're going to shut you down.
Luckily
enough, I managed to fight the claim, and I got my channel restored, but it took nearly...
You just know, though, if you beat Nintendo, that you go on a list, you go on a register of people they keep their beady little eye on.
Yeah, the reason my channel can't be monetized now is because of them, because they won't allow...
They're like agents from the Matrix, but you don't see it, Burhan, but when you walk downtown London, people walk by you, and they're from fucking Nintendo. And
as I said, I love Nintendo the bits, but they are pretty much... Nintendo is Marmite. You either love them or hate them. Their legal practices are ridiculous, but they do make great technology.
Ooh, there's an idea for my next video, by the way. Because obviously it's Easter Sunday and I'm not working Sunday. Because even though Monday's the bank holiday, because I work nights, that means Sunday is my bank holiday.
Should we actually do like a movie file together then on Sunday?
Yeah, let's do Can. And second of all, I might do a video about me eating my Marmite Easter egg.
By the way, did I ever tell you that I taught my daughter to say "Can"? It was brilliant. Well, she was like this little, like, how old was she at the time?
Best
I think she was about
ever.
she was about 3 years old. So she would walk around the house going, "Can, can, can," and my dad was cracking up with laughter. Everyone else was like, "What does that mean?" I was like, my dad just sat there and looked at me and went, "Wrath of Khan." I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Sweet." And then we just like walk around with this kid going, "Khan."
True story on talking kids into doing stuff. That sounded terrible. I was at a wedding in Canada once, and has anyone seen the movie Tommy Boy?
Yes.
Fucking love that movie. You know the bit when he does fat guy in a little coat?
Yeah.
Fat guy in a little coat, and obviously it's I forget his name. Is it Chris Farley?
Yes.
You know, the deceased. Rest in peace, my son.
Yes.
You're not my son. I wish you were my son. Cause
fat guy who died from being fat.
Oh, Burhan, that was cold.
And he did drugs. Loads of it.
He he was like basically Belushi, wasn't he?
Tons of crack.
Well, there's a brilliant scene in that movie where he wants to cheer up his friend David Spade, so he goes, "Do you want to see a fat guy in a little coat?" And he puts on a jacket that's 5 sizes too small for him, and he starts singing this song and swaying around in a circle, going, "Fat guy in a little coat." And the reason it's really, really funny was I was at a wedding in Canada and I was the best man, so I was tanked, because if you ever have to do a best man speech, I don't care what anyone says, it's the scariest thing of your fucking life. So I did, after I did the best man speech, and I was basically hammered at this point. Still coherent and could talk properly, but a level of euphoria had hit me.
Definitely.
And so,
yeah.
I found one of the kids at the wedding, because I don't know if you've ever been to many weddings. I've only been to 2, and quite frankly, apart from the free booze, they suck. All the kids, these people you never even knew had kids, suddenly turn up. So I managed to find a coat that was smaller than a 5-year-old, give it to the 5-year-old, and teach them the entire lyrics to "Fat Guy in a Little Coat." and made him go on the dance floor when everyone was. And I thought it was hilarious. And my mate Jeff, who got married, thought it was hilarious. And then I think that might be the first argument he had with his new wife. Yeah. So this little Canadian was going, "Fat guy in a little coat," and I was pissing my pants. And everyone just went, "What's this? I don't get it. I don't get it." Well, why would you do that, Dave? You fucking English people, what the fuck is wrong with you coming to our country and doing shit like this? And piss off, this is fucking comedy, you idiots.
Once, like, I persuaded my daughter to basically start singing Turkish music. So she would go around singing this song from Ibrahim Tatlıses going, "Bir mum," which means one candle, two candle. And she was just walking around the house going, one candle, two candle, to everybody. Driving my parents insane.
That's what it's about, though.
Yeah.
That's why I did Fat Guy in a Little Coat. That's why you do it, because for all those people that don't get it, it's totally worth it for the two people who did get it, me and the groom, which was worth it, but because it winds everyone else up, and then you can take the moral high ground afterwards and just go, "I'm sorry, I'm English. I have a superior sense of humour."
Yeah, kind of.
Steven Richards goes, "Is that a medical condition? No, sorry, we lost him. He's fat." And then Patmos goes, "Winner of the Dictastic move of tonight, Burhan." And P just goes laughing out loud to what Patmos said. Hey, at the end of
By
the
way,
day...
Sarah, I have to quickly say, because Paddy asked me behind the scenes, who's Sarah? And I said, she's no, actually, I said, she's Aussie Sarah.
Hi.
And I just went, she's from When I Got Gameplay, but from now on I've just decided you're Aussie Sarah. Sorry.
She actually debuted for the network on the basically the Untitled Movie Show. She was on that episode.
Yeah, I was so fucking nervous. You're just like, "Hey, we're doing this thing in 10 minutes. You want to go?" I'm like, "What? But no."
Yeah, most of the show was her going, and they're like, "Oh, there's special needs children on the Untitled Movie Show."
You're not nervous now, are you, Sarah? We try not to be intimidating.
No, I'm fine now. I've been doing this off and on for like over a year.
Yeah, Dave's very intimidating, especially when he says "sexy biscuits."
Sexy biscuits.
Nice. But yeah.
No. Let me rephrase that. Sexy biscuits. Nice. There you go.
Yeah. So it says
that's my catchphrase, Sarah. By the way.
Yeah,
Sexy
and also
biscuits.
Skinless Baby Dave does it very well. And by the way, guys, check out my channel. There's a video of Xander basically throwing up a Neon cat. Just saying.
It's amazing. Please watch it.
I did that. That took me 2 minutes to do that video because I sat there and I was like, what can I do with Xander on Photoshop? Because he was like sitting there going, pretending to puke, and then starts laughing about puking rainbows. And I was like, puking rainbows.
I want to go to the States and I want to hit up Xander so we could go downtown and do a pickup video, but it will be called Keanu Reeves and Sabretooth Hit the Town.
No, he's not Sabretooth anymore. He's a lumberjack. Have you seen that epic lumberjack beard?
He grew out his beard.
It's epic. It's lumberjack epic. I want to get my beard that big. I want it nice, big, and bushy.
Well, here's a question for you out there in the world, ladies. Do you like a man with a beard? How does it work? You know, does it make you not like kissing them so much? Is it like kissing? Is it like kissing a forest?
It depends, because if it's at the awkward stage, it's really prickly and it hurts. And I always tell Scott to shave his neck.
We were talking about the beard, not sex. Sorry.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, Burhan, you've infected me.
You made it weird. Anyway, when they have a beard, it's really it's prickly and stuff. When it gets past the prickly awkward stage, then it's okay, I guess. I generally prefer.
I would have thought, because you're an Aussie, you're made of stone and stuff, which is everything in your country, on land and off land, in the sea, can kill you. So what's the worst that can happen with a beard? It's not a spider, or a snake, or a shark, or a rockfish, or a toadfish. I can deal with this.
I've acclimatized to here, so I don't know.
Plus, also, people, I have to say, because I have a stickler for this, which is, well done, Australia, for still driving on the correct side of the road.
You know, there's a photo I just posted of Xander on my timeline, and his mum actually liked the photograph.
Oh my god.
Wow.
The one day.
Do you know my mum waded into one of my arguments on YouTube? I'm sorry, on Facebook, by the way. It was really, really funny.
Well, the funny thing about it is, like, I'm sitting there and I've got this person who adds me on Facebook. I'm like, who is this person? And I was like, oh, there's a friend of Xander Scullion. So I basically went to Xander and went, who is this person? He went, hey, dude, that's my mum. And I was like, why is your mum friending me on Facebook? And then we would go to, and then he went to me once just as a joke, you're going to be my new dad. And I was like, oh, for God's sake. It was creeping me out.
Creepy.
You know, Xander knows how to freak me out. It was hilarious. Oh Lord, what are we like? In the world of Facebook and the world of Retro Unlim, there's
social media has its rules entirely upon itself.
Yes, it does. I agree. It's hilarious.
Oh, by the way, I have something. I have a topic.
Okay.
Something that really fucking puts coal up my ass. You put a lump of coal up my ass when this happens, I'll compress it so hard, I'll give you a diamond in 30 seconds as opposed to fucking generations.
Fun.
Fucking grammar police. The fucking grammar police. Fucking get off tits. It's like, alright, so on Facebook, you're not as bad as Twitter, which is you only get a certain limited amount of characters. And I used to be on Twitter, but my Twitter got hacked and tried to sell Chinese sex drugs. True story. Chinese sex drugs to people. So when I managed to get my account back, I just closed it and thought, I'm not going on Twitter again. Plus, I'm not Stephen Fry, so I can't get trapped in an elevator for 4 hours and have 150,000 people listen to every word. Still stuck in the elevator. 10 minutes later, still in the elevator. 15 minutes later, guess what? Still in the elevator. Why was that getting fucking likes? But the grammar police do my head in, which is I know how to spell, I know how to pronunciate, I know how to do stuff, you know, quickly, and particularly on a day when I was having really bad internet and I could only get online in sporadic 5-minute sessions, I'm just typing shit as quickly as I can to get it up. You know, I don't care about it being right. So I dare to say your, as in Y-O-U-R, and not Y-O-U''RE. And the comment I got back was, your ''RE, you know, like, you know, spelled it correctly.
Yeah.
And so I left a comment back. He's a mate, don't get me wrong, I love the guy to bits, but I left a comment back to him which said, speech mark, Y-O-U-R, close speech mark, not going to get a thank you for this. If that's what you're, speech mark, you know, expecting, I don't do the grammar police. But the grammar police fucking hits my roids. These people who just float around, they don't do anything, they don't make anything, they just float around people's comment sections so they can correct them. It's like, really?
To Burhan in chat, but that's mostly because he keeps spelling a lesser wrong, and I'm like, that's not cool if you're going to start doing promotional stuff.
Well, all I need to say is a rebuttal to that.
There's a place for it. But
let me just give you a rebuttal on that, of course. A Mexican magician tells the audience that he'll disappear in a count of 3. He says, uno, dos, poof, he disappears without a trace. Without a trace, Coral!
Carl, that kills me.
Coral! Stay
no,
in
there's
the
a
house.
place for, you know, correcting people in the sense that you got this wrong, or the message is wrong, or, you know, you're talking about me and it may affect my promotion or whatever, but just to simply pick on grammar and then walk around like you're fucking the Queen of England, going, nah, I'm correcting that person, look at me. Like, oh, fuck off, you boring twat.
Like, if I try to do it, it's like for the intention of helping people. If it's like, you're written up like...
No, but you get what I'm saying in the sense that if you know what the word means, you get what their statement... Because I'm very much one of those people which is, if you understand the statement, then it did its job. It's just when people overly fucking... Should have been an apostrophe here, there was no full stop there, you didn't do double spaces, you didn't do a capital letter.
Yeah, that's...
that drives me nuts.
You missed the plane heading straightly in your face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you mentioned William Shatner without explaining every other Star Trek movie is shit.
I love William Shatner. I think he's awesome. Shit My Dad Says was so underrated.
Have you ever seen William... do you know what? Have you ever bought any of his albums?
Or something?
Shit My Dad Says. It's the TV series that he did. It was based on this guy's Twitter feed. And the show itself was about this guy who's moving in with his dad, you know.
Yeah.
And it was good. William Shatner did a really good job, like playing the dad. I loved it.
Look up his version of the Molson Canadian commercial, which is, you know, hi, I'm from Canada. I don't say a boot, I say a bounce. And the beaver is the most noble creature in North America. But William Shatner does an absolutely brilliant version of that. It's hilarious. I don't have sex with aliens. It was a TV show.
You know what? I have sex with aliens, and it's awesome.
My name is William Shatner, and I am Canadian. Burhan, if you're going to fucking emigrate to Canada, you got to fucking look up this shit. It's important. Trust me, right? When you go to the States and they make you recite, you know, the entire right of bills, when you go to Canada, they just say, we need you to recite 5 of our most famous TV beer commercials.
Okay, I'll make sure I do that. And I also have to basically know what hockey is.
Oh, dude, hockey's the greatest sport outside of football. It's the greatest sport in the world. Hockey's fucking amazing.
Bret Hart, at least I can, you know, I love Bret Hart like everyone else, so that helps. He's like a national treasure.
Good thing I was born in Canada, because I don't really follow hockey.
Hockey's fucking amazing.
Green card!
I was born here.
Shut up, Burhan. You don't follow hockey.
I follow it more than Sarah does. Angry guys in hockey masks beating each other up. See?
All right,
See?
well, let's do that. Who's won the most Stanley Cups in the world, Burhan? Who's won the most Stanley Cups in the world?
Your mum?
Actually, she has. Janet's an amazing hockey player.
I told you. I knew it. Was she called the Crusher?
She taught Rocket Richard everything he knew, even though she wasn't born then. But she did. She found a way.
I was going to say, I watched a little bit of hockey for one of the Olympics and before the lockout happened. So there was like this really big strike
there you
thing.
go. Sarah, look up my video on the lockout. Look up the video I did on the lockout. Oh, you want to see sullen, angry Dave.
Yeah, it was a long, long time ago. But around then, I kind of lost interest.
Really political when it comes to the players, and I want to say unions, but not unions because it's not. But like the players in the companies, constantly every 5 years there will be a lockout because someone just goes, "That's not fair. I've decided I need more slices of the pie than you," and then they all go, "No, that's right. We're going to walk away, and there's going to be no hockey season this year." And it annoys me when a lockout happens because who are the people who suffer? The people who pay their fucking wages.
Yeah, and that was around the time when Todd Bertuzzi punched a player in the back of the head and then got kicked out of the Canucks. He's in America now, I think, as far as I know. Kind of dumb.
Well, you need to promise me one thing, Sarah. Promise me one thing.
What?
If you decide to embrace the wonderful sport that is hockey,
yeah,
or this is my personal promise to you. I'll be upset and walk away, and we won't be friends anymore.
Okay.
Make sure you do it as a Habs fan.
What?
Le Montreal Canadiens.
Oh.
Greatest hockey team in the world.
Okay.
It comes back to what I said, Burhan, which is they won the most Stanley Cups. I wish my mum won those Stanley Cups. Because if my mum won that many Stanley Cups, I'd take them downtown to the pawn shop and get them melted down and buy money.
Did you stay in Montreal when you were in Canada?
I lived there for 4 years.
That's right, yeah, that would be why you like the Canadian.
I remember I got free tickets. And I just went and I didn't know what hockey. I just invented a new sport. Hockey. It's a cross between hockey and weapon power rockets.
Pazza said, not all dads like video games, so that's a good match. Patma says, coming from the most pedantic person I know pertaining to the pronunciations regarding region, this is adorably hypocritical. Retron goes, my head hurts. Bob Backlund.
What the fuck?
I have no idea.
No, she's taking the piss out of me because I was correct.
I'm so confused. What is happening?
It's Patty calling Dave a hypocrite.
Yeah,
Patty,
it's a U in the middle of the two M's and not an O. Just so you know. And by the way, our bacon's better. Sorry.
Dave does this a lot. Dave does it a lot, and he knows that if he was saying that to Patty right this moment, and she was in front of him, She'd probably give him a swift kick in the nuts.
Okay, true. Don't for this later on. Trust me.
She would destroy his sexy biscuits.
Uh-oh.
She would crush his almonds. She would destroy his Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Uh-oh.
That'll be the heroin, Steve. Stop injecting it into your eyeballs.
Alvin and the Chipmunks. Ryan Reynolds was in that movie. He's Canadian.
The Chipmunks. Alvin,
Please
There you go, Burhan. If you want to have
Please
a
never do
Canada,
that again.
No.
No.
Migrate to Canada, Burhan. You got so much work to do.
Do you hate when people do squeaky voices, Sarah? Is that what it is? Is this your pet peeve?
But you do the creepy chipmunk voice, yes. It's okay when I do it because I'm cute.
Do it then.
What? Like, really cute voice?
Go on, do a cute voice.
You sound like a cat that's just been castrated.
Did you listen to that video? There was a video I posted on my Facebook timeline of that dog that sounded like an injured human. It was like going, oh, oh. I was just sitting there going, what the fuck?
That. I did watch the Fennec Fox video a lot.
Oh,
That was really cute.
That was cute.
If you sound like a dog who just... When you say sound like a dog who was an injured human, based upon where I live, it would just be a dog going, oh, ow, that really hurts. Has anyone got the number for claims direct so I can sue the balls off this person and retire a rich man?
And it's like, what the hell?
Oh, I miss dogs. That sounded terrible. I miss owning a dog, shall I say.
Yeah, Steve's
I like
asking
that.
who the actor is that played Sabretooth.
What?
Oh,
X-Men
fucking...
Origins. See if you guys can get it.
Oh, he's got a funny name. Bollocks.
Schreiber.
Yes. That's right. I was
Yeah.
going to say he's got a name that makes him sound like a bird.
AKA Xander, which I find very. Every time
Yeah,
you try.
Xander's fucking... that Photoshop you did from, a couple of years ago, Burhan, was basically... my brain just went, you did fuck all to that picture, didn't you, apart from give him nails?
No, it was basically I just put Xander's head on his body, and I just looked at that and I was just like, yeah, didn't have to do much with that, I had to do a lot more to the other ones.
Do you know what? True story. I read it in a movie magazine going back a few years when the X-Men Origins Wolverine movie came out, which is a fucking terrible movie. But
Right in the butt
apparently,
meat, says Patimus. Right in the butt meat.
apparently, Hugh Jackman and Liv, can I call you Liv?
Liv
When they
Schreiber.
looked at, no, I couldn't pronounce the second name. So, when they were working out the gym, they were totally in character, and they were like, bench pressing and curling and shit, and staying in character and grunting
As
and
you do.
snarling. And
Oh,
my brain
nice.
just remember thinking, if you were someone else in that gym and there's these two blokes going, schnicked, I just go, fuck
Like,
this.
what?
Yeah, I'm going to another gym where those two people clearly aren't hooking up.
Me, those two very heterosexual men look like that they're probably going to have sex now. I'm just going to sit here and watch.
Do you know what? Some fanboy probably walked in and just went, by the way, Mr. Jackman, even though this is America and I'm talking like a Victorian chimney sweep, but I'm going with it. Why don't you have Wolverine's hair right now? Just saying. Well, you know what fanboys are like. They do stuff like that, don't they? Which is...
Yeah.
I noticed that you were, Mr. Jackman, that you were driving a car, but you were driving it with your left hand when in the movies you're predominantly right-handed.
Well, we did. Me
Failure.
and Rob had a conversation about how
Fuck off,
we
you
don't
nerdy
feel
little bastard.
we don't feel Wolverine is actually a proper Canadian, because he never says excuse me or sorry.
You never said the boot.
Yeah, or he never says a.
It'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
He's
Like,
Australian. He's Australian playing a Canadian most of the time.
he plays a good Canadian, but he should basically, pop his claws, rip someone's head off and goes, Wolverine, you think you're going to stop me? Yes, because it's about time someone did.
Nice.
But I'm sure.
Well,
It will work. And then when he punches him off, like at the end of the second Wolverine movie, when he chucks the bloke off the cliff, he could just go, happy landings. Eh? Sorry.
yeah.
And then apologise for stabbing people.
Oh, do you know what's
Sorry.
funny though?
Sorry.
When when I lived
cut off
there,
your head,
and you
sorry.
forget it. I came when I used to visit back home on holiday, and you forget that you just pick up the mannerisms of people around. One of my friends actually said to me, "Dude, what the fuck does A mean?" I'm like, I don't know, and I didn't realize I was saying it until you told me. Hold me, I'm scared.
Oh.
And you say for sure a lot, apparently, as well.
Yeah.
Hey, that hockey game last night was amazing. For sure.
No, that was the first. Piece of Piece of Tyler Maine. I was like, that's not the. That was the Wolverine. That was the Sabretooth in the X-Men movies. We're talking about Liev Schreiber, who was the one that looks like Xander Scullion.
Because the first bloke was a wrestler, wasn't he?
Dave, is it true you're making a new John Wick?
Yes, it's true. I can confirm this. Oh shit, no, I can't. We'll have to wait because I'm getting my hair cut next week. Sure. So we'll have to wait, but there will be another movie, and I guarantee you, at some point, as an inside joke, I will say, "Whoa."
Whoa.
Possibly whilst it ends.
Dude.
Well, this is. Here you go. Here's the topic.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with this on-off? Because, I'd love to see it, but I just think they're too old, especially since Keanu's aged really well, but Alex Winters hasn't. Haven't? Oh, Grammar Police, you can correct me on that one, by the way. You're allowed that one. What's the deal with Bill and Ted's 3? Because it's actually being confirmed.
It's been confirmed.
Right?
They're in the writing process, so it's basically they've got
a poster out for it though. Have you seen it? It's got the phone booth, and it says, "In time, everything will be all right."
Oh, that doesn't. Okay.
I think it's a fan made one, but they are in the process of doing it. It's like apparently they're expanding Ghostbusters into a universe.
Yeah, is it going to be like, whoa, we're 40, dude, yeah, amazing, we're 40, let's do what 40-year-old people do. Let's get a job in an office and be boring for the rest of our life.
Yeah, jeez.
Strange, that's one phrase I've never lost and I always use and no one gets it. That stayed with me from the first time I saw Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, which is, if anything happens in front of me that's kind of weird, funky, or just like, that shouldn't have happened, I always just go, whoa. Strange things are afoot to the Circle K.
Nice.
So, going off that, I want to ask you guys a question because you're both in relationships and stuff. So I want to ask these little questions in turn. Point Break 2: The Search for Body. What is the and you guys get a question each, and I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to say this question myself.
Okay.
What is the best thing about being in a relationship and the worst? So start with you, Dave. What's the best thing about being in a relationship and the worst?
Best thing about being in a relationship is always having someone who will listen to you.
Okay.
Cliche, I know.
What's the worst?
And the worst thing about being in a relationship is when you can't talk to that individual. In my case, and I know I'm having a pop at British Telecom, you can't talk to that individual because fates conspire against you and you really want to talk to them just to say one simple word, but you're not allowed to, and it really frustrates me and angers me when I can't communicate to the person I love because shit gets in the way.
Oh, what about you, Sarah?
Oh jeez.
Beards.
I think. Shush. You and Dave, you guys have long distance relationships, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, mine's a bit different. Mine's been in person, and it's been going for almost 5 years. Probably the best one in my case is living with them. Oh shush, living with them is awesome. But also for Scott, he is. Let's see, he's my boyfriend and my roommate and my best friend. So he's like my left arm and like basically my other half, and it's awesome. And he comes home every day and I'm like, yay, other person to snuggle with and stuff. And I'm never by myself. Well, I am by myself, but I'm never alone, which is amazing and awesome. The worst thing probably is
Leave
when
the
you
toilet seat up, doesn't he?
No.
Oh.
No,
What the fuck is wrong with him? Put him on right now. I need to explain this. I'm sorry.
Dude, no, it's what?
That's how it works.
Let me finish. Okay. So the worst thing I think is, you live with them, it's great, but sometimes like stresses build up and you get into arguments and it's really upsetting because it's like you get to a point where you're arguing and it's really kind of sad, and then you have this really awkward point where you're mad at each other, and then you're just sitting back to back and you're not talking. That always feels the worst. But then we talk about it and then it's okay, but it's like that really awkward period where it's like you're kind of angry at each other and you don't want to talk to each other, but at the same time
one of you has to approach the other individual and
talk about it. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Or when you have like a really big argument, then it's just like you feel horrible afterwards. And
I have no problems with any of my relationships because I'm a dead ringer for Keanu Reeves.
Well, this was just like a natural thing, right? It just happens sometimes, but as long as
I know it was purely natural. I just woke up one day and realized that I look like Keanu Reeves. Sorry.
I woke up one day and I realized that I look.
You look like Zod.
Yeah. Still before Burhan.
Come on, that was funny when I put that out, mine.
Separated at birth. I look like a lot of weird people.
Yeah, but Zod's the best because you got superpowers.
Yes, exactly. And
you can impress the birds. If a bird you really fancy pulls out a cigarette, you can use your heat vision to light it. I guarantee you're in a pants then.
But I'd probably end up lighting her up in the process and go, shit, can't
Oops.
control it, sorry.
Do you remember the episode of Family Guy when God does something wrong at the bar and he goes, Jesus Christ! And then Jesus turns up at the door and he goes, whoa! And he goes, quick, get the Escalade. They run away.
Oh, Lord Jesus! Yeah, but no, I agree. The thing is about, like, for most people out there, the one thing I want to ask you guys a question down there, Dave, elephant in the room.
Oh, hang on, sorry.
Okay.
I don't think we explained it to people on this cast. Elephant in the room, people, by the way, is when my fan kicks in and my microphone decides to make massive sex to it and just fucking lights up the room. So rather than just say, Dave, sort your fucking
sexually
shit.
Frustrated much, Dave? Sexually frustrated much? Yeah.
So instead of we saying, sort your fucking failed, coal and piss-powered donkey horse shit computer out, we just say elephant in the room.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Dave. Elephant in the room. But yeah, I think we're kind of winding the show down now. It's 1:30.
I gotta say this, by the way. I've decided the next time I get pulled over by the old Bill, do you know what I'm gonna say?
Sexy biscuits.
When he drops the window. Sorry, I dropped the window. If he's in my car already, then I'm being raped. When I drop the window and he goes, "Excuse me, sir, do you know how fast you were going?" I'm just gonna go, elephant in the room.
So I'll be like, well, I didn't hit 88 miles per hour, otherwise I'll be back in time.
Yeah, because I wouldn't be here.
Just say, gotta go fast and just run away.
We'll have the police
Oh,
officer
that's
like,
brilliant though. If I had a DeLorean, right, and he comes up and he knocks on the window, I could open the door, technically knock him out with it, and it would be his fault and not mine. We're like, dude, it's a DeLorean. What do you expect?
Or
You asked me to get out
the
the car.
shit out of him by just going, "Great Scott!" And
I was frozen today.
I was frozen today.
I forgot about that. Oh god, that's so awful.
I strip a Doc Brown.
Hey, Burhan.
Who's president in 1985? Ronald Reagan. The actor? Sorry. By the way, true story. Even though I love Back to the Future and it's the greatest movie ever made in the world, the bit when Marty's winding back the JVC camcorder on top of the telly, check it out. Look at it. The leads aren't actually plugged into the fucking telly. Just saying.
Nice.
But it still worked. Wee wee. One thing I would say to you guys, check out the April Fools for Back to the Future. IGN posted it. It's basically you have like the car and a nice little fucking voiceover, and then it's Vin Diesel in the car and it drives off, and it's like Fast to the Future. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that. I have to admit, I would pay to see that.
Well, this is right. I know we're winding up. I've got to say really quickly because I just saw the teaser trailer on TV, which is Fast and the Furious 7 is obviously coming out very, very shortly. So, how did they handle the sad decease of the actor? How does that work? He's in it, right? Paul Walker's in it. Yeah.
They basically managed to sort out his. They had his brothers in it. And
But
they
this
sorted
is
out that
where
way.
it comes uncomfortable thterritory to me, which is at some point in the movie, they're going to have to kill the character off.
No, they don't. They end up leaving him be. He was supposed to leave the series anyway because it was his last film.
But I thought he only shot like 2/3 of the movie.
Yeah, he did before he died, but then they basically superimposed his brothers with his head on.
So they've
That's
done The
creepy.
Crow, basically.
Pretty much.
Although it worked with The Crow. The Crow was an amazing movie and my third favourite movie of all time ever. Bye.
It's a pretty good movie.
Yeah, and
Well,
Sarah
Eric Newman, yeah.
Sarah did kind of message me and point out the fact that what do I think are the best and worst things in a relationship? Because I'm someone who's
Yeah.
been in a relationship a lot. I would say that the best thing about being in a relationship is having someone that you can communicate with, that you can connect with. Obviously, the sex is great.
So
as
I
well.
said,
Yeah. The worst part is if you're in a relationship with one of the worst people on the planet, and they will do everything they can to fucking annoy you. The thing is, I've always said this to people, and I hold by this statement.
Yeah.
Being in love with someone is easy. Cohabitating with them is the worst.
yeah.
The worst.
Because
fucking-
everyone, and I don't care what people say, and it's not meant to be, a standoff point or anything like that with me, but everyone needs some space.
Yeah.
Apparently, Dave's Neo, I'm Morpheus, and Fast Furious 8, no CGI. Vin Diesel, Fast and Future, and then Mike looks like Ben Kingsley, apparently.
Am I trendy?
Brown
Can
Ben
I get
Kingsley.
the really cool jacket?
Yes.
Yay!
But yeah, no, I agree with Dave. The thing is, cohabitating with someone is so fucking hard. And
It
when
is.
you've lived
It
with
does
someone,
take getting used to.
it does. And it takes
Well, because
patience.
from a perspective of what, oh my God, I sound really deep when I say this, what humanity is basically forget all our life, our comforts, Sky TV and all that shit. The basic purpose that's inherent in you, born as an individual, is the right to survive. And the right to survive, even though the right to mate, or the urge to mate is in there as well, is self-preservation. So, kind of, you're fucked, doomed out of the fucking womb, basically, because it's not about being nasty, being horrible, being abhorrent, pushing people away. It's just, as humanity goes, like, we're individual. I can't say the word, bollocks. Individualistic. There we go. I said the word. Oh my God, who wants to high five me?
Individualistic, super Gaspialidocious.
Yeah. You get the point I'm saying, though, don't you? Which is,
Yes.
it's inherent upon you when you were born that you are someone who should be technically. You need companionship, you do, but your ultimate birthright is self-preservation and
Independence.
survival.
Yeah, you're supposed to be independent, yeah. Or,
Wrestling.
And if you're still watching, Patty, you can strike that just off. I'm just saying it for them.
yeah, like, living with anyone takes some getting used to, but I think if it's like, well, I was able to say it more eloquently and I fucking forgot, so there you go.
But I agree. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of understanding. And when anyone's in a relationship, patience and understanding is what kind of drives it home. If there's certain things that bug you, and I'm going to point this out to people, and I'll say this because I say it a lot.
Mhm.
If you know, and I'm going to say this to anybody out there who's going to go astray and cheat, if you know it's over,
If you are,
yeah,
fuck you and shame
if
on
you
you.
know it's over, let the
Tell
person
them.
down gently, yeah, and just move on. Don't
Mhm.
string someone along and make them feel like shit because you cheat on them. It's not a great thing to do. Talk it through, explain to them why you're having your issues. If you feel that you can't do it anymore, don't do it. Like I remember,
It's like ripping off a band-aid.
yeah, I
You
remember
don't, you
there was-
don't, you don't like doing it, but you have to.
There was a relationship I was in. This was around about 2003, I think.
Oh, wow.
Very nice girl. We had fun together. Very timid.
I love the fact that when you pronunciate words, you forget that there's a T. It's not an F.
Yeah, Dave.
Sorry.
You know that this makes your previous.
Oh my God, I'm
very
in the grammar.
redundant.
Oh fuck.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of hypocritical there, Dave, Mr. Grammar Nazi. So
I'm
yeah,
gonna shut up now. Say as much as you want. I'm gonna cry.
so yeah, Mr. Richarlison goes, what is it about men and their space? Kids come from space. We will be nowhere without women. Or for me, woman, not multiple, in case she's watching. Women want space too. Spend too much time with anyone, it gets difficult. Some people don't have an option. A marriage is not a word, but a sentence. And I agree. But I'll talk about this girl. She's very timid.
That was very wise, Mr. Steve. Very wise. I
Very.
would take it more wisely if me and Burhan didn't watch you fall asleep on camera.
Yeah, and getting argued at by your missus. And that was an awkward. That was an awkward Friday.
Sorry, we're gonna have to do it, Steve. We're gonna and tell Sarah. It was the after show for one of the Retro on Limb podcasts, and Steve fell asleep on camera,
Really?
and me and Burhan were the only people left in the stream, and we were like, "This is really awkward."
But we didn't want. It was like a car wreck. We didn't want to look away because we wanted to see if she was
His
going to kill
missus
him.
came down and tore into him. You're drunk. You shouldn't be here. Why are you? What? And me and Burhan were just like 4-year-olds at this point in the corner, going like, "We're going to go and sit on the naughty step because this is really uncomfortable."
He basically goes, "Dave, fuck you lot in the nicest possible way." But yeah, it was funny because we and him were just looking at each other, going, "You need to turn this off." And then
I actually felt like you were in the room right now. There was such a level of awkwardness. I actually felt that you were in the room next to me, Burhan, and we were watching this together. Like, what do we do? I don't know.
It's like,
Does someone have a really long broom so we can poke him?
Have you ever been in that situation where you're at your friend's house and he's with his missus and they're fighting, and you're sitting there and you're eating like chips and dip at their house, and you don't know what to do? You want to leave, but you feel that if you leave, you're disrespecting
Oh, I can
them.
best that.
So you sit there in the chair and you're kind of like looking both ways, and then they bring you into the argument, and you're like,
Oh, that's the worst.
yeah.
That before. It's like, look.
Why don't you tell her? No, why don't you tell him? No, why don't you tell her? And you're like,
So can you just like do this later?
yeah, can I think I need to go home right now.
So what?
I can best that for a really, really awkward moment. When my company, when I was in Montreal, flew me to Toronto, and I have friends, like close friends then in Toronto. They flew me there, and they flew me to the office to train someone who was called Jesus. And ironically, it was Easter weekend, and he really didn't get the joke when he goes, "Hey, you're Dave," and I went, "Yeah, you're called Jesus. Shouldn't you be dead right now?"
Oh my god!
And then Dave was fired.
I know, but he kind of got and just went, "Yeah, I heard about your fucking English and your stupid sense of humour." To which I actually said, "No, correct sense of humour. You're welcome."
Wow.
But my plane got delayed, and
Steve
so
goes,
the people
"Thanks
who
for
were
bringing
picking
up
me
my
up,
finest moment."
people who were picking me up from the airport, Jeff and Michelle, they couldn't find me because my plane was delayed, which is no fault of my own. And obviously, you can't use your mobile phone on a plane. And also, I didn't actually have one then. So when they finally picked me up, they were all, nice and great and wonderful. But that night when I was sleeping in their house, because I stayed at their house as opposed to I should have stayed at the hotel just so I could rate the free minibar. But I stayed at their house, and then I heard Michelle tearing to Jeff, he was so inconsiderate. He was this and that and this. He must have found a way to tell us this. And Jeff was going like, "No, we couldn't because he was this and that and this." Going like, I love Dave, but he's so annoying with shit like this and his inconsideration for other people. And my brain's just going, when I'm lying in bed, "I'm in the room next to you. I can hear everything you're saying."
Also, I can't control that my plane is 3 hours late, so what the hell?
And do you know what the best bit was, though? Was the fact that she wrote the argument off that night. And the next day, when we got up for breakfast, and she cooked us breakfast, and she's like being super nice as pie and everything. What I really wanted to say, but I didn't, because obviously I was staying at the house and I didn't want to be homeless, was, "Oh, hi, Michelle, you're being wonderful and lovely and brilliant, and your breakfast is kick-ass, don't get me wrong, but I heard everything last night."
Oh, you know what? Going back to that lovely girl in 2003. Yeah, basically the situation happened where the one thing that kind of destroyed the relationship was the fact she went through my phone.
Oh, that's always a deal breaker.
Yeah, and then started crying because I said to her, look, I'm going to be going out with a friend of mine, and I have to look after another friend of his who's female. And the woman sent me a text message saying, thank you for the other night, it was really appreciated, and that was it.
Yeah.
And she was like, you're cheating on me, to my sister, and my sister was like, you're not cheating on her. And I was like, what were you talking about? And I went, you went through my phone, didn't you? And she was like, I love you. Yeah, no, you went through my phone.
No, never. To quote Jack Nicholson, never rub another man's rhubarb.
It's not that. It's like I've been honest with you. I explained things to you, but it turned me off of her. Especially after the fact that I had a friend of mine go, "You two look alike," and I was just like, "Yeah." They went, "You could be siblings."
People
I
tell
was
me
like,
it's that. It's kind of weird.
yeah, and then I went, "I can't." That was one thing that kind of turned me off. The
It's
other
an
thing
invasion
was
of trust, isn't it? Which is,
Yeah.
if you want to know something about me, ask me, and I'll be honest, and I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything that's on my phone, but don't go into it.
No,
because
she asked
I
me,
think
look,
you could say that the phone is the modern equivalent of someone prying or spying upon someone's diary. That's what smartphones are.
It's like my ex was going to me. She was like, "Oh, I want to see if you're that guy thinks I'm sexy." And I'm just like, and she's like, "Well, don't you get
I'm
jealous?"
sexy, and I'm sorry.
I'm not the jealous type. I don't give a fuck. If you're
Also,
gonna,
you have this amazing person now, so fuck it.
yeah, but I'm like, I don't get jealous. I'm not the jealous type. There's no point. Like, if you're gonna, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna get angry at the dude that's fucking you. I'm gonna get angry at you for fucking him in the first place.
Fair enough.
There's a message in there, people. He didn't word it correctly, but he's right.
No, but it's true. It's
Yeah,
Dave, stop
that's
being
why
a
I took it
grammar
right.
Nazi. You're pissing me off. But
That wasn't a grammar Nazi. That was just saying you're right. Shut
yeah,
up.
but he
prick.
didn't word it right.
Piss off! I'm not kneeling before you, Zod.
Yeah,
You wank.
suck my cock, Mr. Wade. Suck my knob. But yeah,
I can. Apparently, it's been pre-allocated to someone else.
Yes, it has.
I really, really wanted to drop a name then, but I can't.
Yeah, you can't because it's situations. But yeah, for like anybody out there, and you're in something like that, you're in a similar situation. Discuss. If you can't make it work, separate. Go your separate ways, and move on. Because in the end of the day, nobody wants to torture themselves being in a relationship they don't want to be in. There's no
Even
point.
if it's really hard, like if separating from them is going to be better for your happiness, just do it.
Yeah. That uncomfortable, awkward, horrible moment for both people involved in a relationship. Sorry, you have to do it. Because it's in everyone's best interest. Yes, it may end sourly and badly and be painful for a few months, but you got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
that's the thing.
it was best summed up when someone said, "It's just a jump to the left, and then a step to the right." Sorry, do a Time Warp quote.
Fix your hands on your hips and pull your knees in tight.
Let's do the time warp again.
Let's do.
the time warp again.
Okay.
Joe, you want to laugh? I found it, and it's a really, really old game, and especially since the hardware is very, very limited, and you think that's a software company punching above their weight. I did a gameplay of the Rocky Horror Show on the ZX Spectrum, and it actually it was. It's 1985, and it's
And the time, Sarah, where they make games of everything and anything.
Yeah. I was just like, I never. What? How did
and
you
all the characters are in it, by the way. All the characters are in it.
How does
And
that?
you even got a thermometer, because there you go, Burn, you can do the Nazi police of me then, because I did what you did. I said thermometer. It's not P, Dave, it's T. Thermometer, because you're wet. And yeah, there's a game of the Rocky Horror Show, and it has the smallest loop. I remember thinking when I did my gameplay, hey, the music's really good. That really does sound like the Time Warp. And then 15 seconds later, when I realized that the loop of the music was actually 15 seconds, it really started to get on my tits. But on the title screen, that's really funny when it says the Rocky Horror Show, is you got all these little animated characters in 8 bits monochromic at the bottom,
Oh.
badly animated, doing the time warp.
Yeah,
Can you just send me a link to that video? Because that sounds amazing.
Patmos just said that there's the musical moment in a podcast about Burhan's musical moment, and then Mr. Electronim goes, Mike is a true thespian.
Or
and,
as Mike would like to say, thespian. Sorry.
Thespian, Dave. Thespian. TH.
You're the one who says P. You're a Londoner. If only I was a Londoner.
Thespian.
Yeah, stuff.
Hey, you know what? I played Henry VIII once.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
Were you a fat back? Were you properly addicted to the role?
Henry VIII, I am.
Oh God, there's such a hate for her.
She's been married 7 times before, and every man was Henry. You wouldn't have a Willie or a Sam.
I like to think that when you played this role, you prepared by eating a lot of cake and pie and gaining 400 pounds.
And beheading ex-wives. You know what? That would be great. That would solve my problem. So
I'm sorry, love. I'm done with you.
That would cause like so much trauma, though.
that would be awesome. All I'd have to do is behead my ex-wife, and then we're done.
What about the little ones?
I'll accuse her of being a witch and having ancestral sex with her brother. That's how the movie went.
See, that would have been great back then, which is... Do you wonder how many people died back in the Middle Ages when you had an argument with your wife?
Yeah,
And you just went...
Dave,
she's a witch.
Dave, I wanna point out that Mr. Retrolim goes, mention the fact that it's Bert and Ted's extra live stream because you're Keanu. So like Bill and Ted, Burr and Ted. But
That
yes,
works.
Let's continue. But I agree. I do agree. It's like it would have been so easy. You could just go, yeah. You know, haven't you done dishes yet? She's a witch.
Can you imagine, even though it'd be medieval times, so you're being pulled over in your horse and cart, and the old Bill come around and go like, "Excuse me, sir, but do you know how fast you were driving, or riding?" And your wife's next to you, and just go, "She did it. She's a witch." Get a jail free card.
Charmed would have a different ending if they're like, "Oh, she's a witch, behead them."
Yep.
We have the power of 3. Really?
That's how they should have ended season 6 of Buffy, when Willow went mental, which is
She's a witch.
She's a witch.
Yep.
You know what? Your sheets smell. She's a witch.
Oh my God, it's amazing and terrible.
Oh, that girl's amazing.
This, I love you, dear, but this steak is clearly undercooked, and where are my vegetables? She's a witch.
Yeah.
By the way, sir, I just posted my Rocky Horror Show video.
I'll watch after the.
It's very boring, by the way, because I don't know if you've ever seen any of my gameplays. It's just me getting massively frustrated and saying potty words. But...
Yeah.
It's actually frustrating.
She's a witch! Sarah's a witch! Sorry.
He's going to be doing that now. Every time someone pisses him off.
Sweet! Okay.
It's all right, sir. We have no power against Australia because you're the Holy Land.
Woo! I didn't know I could do magic. I just magic up all these finances for me. That would solve all the problems.
The next time you see something that could kill you, like a spider or a toadfish or a fish or something, can you take a picture and put it on my timeline and say, "Dave, this almost killed me"?
When I go back to Australia, sure. Then I'll be like, I can summon this.
And if you don't, I'm assuming it did kill you. Sorry.
Well, it depends if I have internet down there, because the internet's kind of spotty. It's kind of
Well, welcome to my world, folks.
Yeah. At least it was last time I went there, like 8 years ago. I don't know. It's going to take me a couple of more years to get down there. But yeah, it's like I can summon that shit.
Why haven't you lost your accent then?
My mum is Australian, and also I refused to lose it because it was like it was my only tie to there, and I still have a big connection to it. So
I kind of get that, which is I'm fully inbred Bristolian, literally.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my parents were related before they had me. Sorry, Janet and George, love you. But when I started traveling, and I travelled for 7 years, I kind of lost my I don't know if you know what Bristolian accents sound like. It's horrible. Sorry, Bristol, you could be the most intelligent people in the world, but when you talk, you sound like retards. I lost, I lost my accent when I was traveling, and I really try hard not to regain it because I don't want it. It's
So it
horrible.
lost like Bristolian edge, or yeah,
Oh,
'cause
trust me. Look
my
up
accent's
Terry. Look up. I'm going to post something on your channel after this, on your Facebook after this, and
okay.
to understand what a true Bristolian accent is. And again, people, Bristol. I'm proud to be Bristolian. I really, really am. I'm just very happy and try very hard not to get that accent back because it's appalling.
I love Australian accents. I just kind of lost.
No, Australian
Well,
accents are brilliant. Oh, trust
I
me,
did.
don't compare.
Is
Don't
it?
compare an Australian accent to Bristolian. That's like
It's
comparing.
Oh, we drank all your beer and we fucked all your women. We drank all your beer and we fucked all. Helen Pace.
Comparing an Australian accent to Bristolian is like comparing pure gold wrapped in a velvet of sapphire to a turd.
well, mine's kind of merged with Canadian, and that's why people think I'm from England now. So I'm like, that makes sense. So the edge of
It
my
kind of like
Australian
what you said
accent.
at the start, which is people outside of England, Australia, and the Commonwealth don't seem to appreciate an accent and get confused.
Yeah.
I like one of the funniest things I ever heard was when my mate got into a fight, which is wrong.
Yeah.
People in that bar I used to visit. Yeah, right. I'm going to say it. My favorite bar in Montreal was the London pub.
Oh, nice.
Mainly because it was a little piece of home when they played English football. But my mate almost got into a fight, and I had to separate it, and he just went, "You and your South African mate can fuck off." I'm like, wait, whoa, mate. I'm English and he's Australian. You can hit us, you can insult us, but at least get your pronunciation of our locations right, you prick.
Wow. Oh, jeez.
And then the funny thing is, the South African girl who was on a gap year working behind the bar because she could speak French, and you have to be able to speak French to live in Montreal, they always came up to her and just went, "Hey, I love England, you got Mr. Bean." Like, thinking, she's fucking South African, you idiot. She's got massive racial hatred in apartheid.
Awkward. Yeah, I lost
Not as
my...
awkward as that night when she showed up for work not wearing a bra with just a vest on and didn't realise that when they turned the lights on in the bar, you could see right through it. That was an awkward conversation. As much as I enjoyed it, I do remember having to pull her to the side and say, do you understand why you're getting so many tips right now? Because everyone can see through your shirt. I think you might need to put something else on.
Yeah. I'll put a shirt on or something. Yeah, I lost the big edge of my Australian accent just from being here for so long, and I realized that the other day, and it made me kind of sad. I'm like, shit, I need to like go back.
You still sound full blood Aussie to me.
Really? Maybe because I'm talking about it. When I talk to like Canadian people, I notice it's not there as much now.
You do know I'm not Canadian, nor is Burhan. Sorry.
Yeah.
No, you still got
What's
that
that
punch.
a bootay? Does that make it Canadian? No.
Hey,
Go to Montreal, right? Find the London pub. It's on Sherbrooke and St. Catherine, the corner. Walk in just to blow people's minds and say, "Dave says, by the way, he never really liked it here." I did, but it just pissed them off. There's the funny thing, though, true story about why I like that bar, which was the reason they played football and promoted football and had, signs and posters outside was because the bloke who owned it was a Spanish bloke who loved Real Madrid. God bless. And he did one of the greatest things ever, which was when Liverpool won. Sorry, Burhan. Liverpool won the Champions League. Me and all my mates from the bar, because where I worked was obviously, multicultural, in the sense that it was expats, basically. So me and all my English, Irish, Scottish mates went to the pub to watch Liverpool, and by half-time we were fucked. And they all fucked off and left. And obviously we won the match at the end, and the Spanish bloke just came around the bar, slapped me on the back and just went, "You know what, you kept the faith. That is good. Drinks are on me." I'm like, "Oh,
okay.
What?" And then I got absolutely fucking wankered.
Oh, jeez.
No, I think what he actually said was, Dave, your friends, they run away so quickly. I can't do a Spanish accent. That's why I'm talking like this. They ran away so quickly. They didn't keep the faith, but you sat here and you persevered. Impressive.
Oh.
And your team won.
Yay! Yeah. I'm on depression medication, so I can't drink. I kind of miss it sometimes. On the other hand, I'm like, it's nice being sober all the time.
Ooh,
I
that
don't
sounds
have
horrible.
things. So I gotta stay on them till August, September-ish. We're gonna see
hang on. Based on someone who is on depressive medicine who can drink,
Yeah.
I lucked out with that one.
Really? What kind are you taking?
It's flux. I can't pronounce it. It's a really. Why do they give fucking medications such long, stupid names? Why don't you just say yellow pill?
Yeah, mine's escitalopram. It's a serotonin thing. I'm just gonna.
Yeah, you can't drink on serotonin because it
No.
cuts off the signals in your head, which it's trying to reintroduce. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just.
I could be a
I'm just-
doctor.
I wanted to play it safe and be like, no.
No, but what I was going to say, seriously, possibly not for the podcast, but should be in the after show.
Yeah.
When you stop taking it, though,
Yeah.
does it mean you've re-established the chemicals in your brain and you're fixed, and you can stop taking it and go cold turkey, or do you need to still?
I'm not sure yet, but I know I need to go off it on a process. So I started on half.
Oh no, my point is, are you fixed, or do you need to talk to your doctor and say, basically, do I need to take this some form forward going on constantly? Because
I don't know.
the thing about brain chemicals is they're fickle.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep in contact with her because this is the first time I've done anything like this. So we'll see what happens. If I get into the program I'm applying for, I might just keep on them until graduation. Because if I try to wean off them when it's stressful, it might be really bad. So.
Final topic for the night, Mr. Burhan. By the way.
Yeah.
Talking about. Oh, you're still here. I thought you went for a dump. That's what you always do. That's what you always do during.
Really, after the new health regime, for some reason I can't. Just weird thing.
Buy Senecart. Just don't have that really awkward experience when I was on codeine as a painkiller when my back went out, and I didn't realise that. I thought I'll buy Senecart, which is a laxative, people. Yeah, I'm saying. Because I didn't realise when they give you codeine, I had amazing codeine mind. I'm pretty sure I could have sold this to druggies under the bridge. It was that strong. But what I found out about codeine is you can't crap on it.
Oh, that sucks.
So I remember going to Sainsbury's and trying to, that's right, Burhan and the Boy with Sarah. We like to talk about the things no one else cares about. I remember going to Sainsbury's and thinking, right, if I buy a laxative, I'll buy the herbal one. Because if I buy the herbal one, it will just go through the self-scan and I can sneakily run off like a spy. And I got to the self-scan and there was no one around.
Yeah.
And I scanned it and the light went on and it went up to the computer system. And it just went... Someone on self-scan right now is trying to buy Senecart. Can please someone go and unrestrict the system? I'm like, thank you, Sainsbury's. You just told everyone in the store that I'm constipated. Wonderful.
Oh, yeah.
Brilliant. And I went bright red. I'm like, really? Why don't you just put a big fucking hand in front of me and just say, this bloke can't crap?
Because God, I don't mind that. As long as like someone doesn't go Viagra, price check on Viagra. This guy can't keep a stiffy. Viagra.
This bloke's buying condoms because he doesn't believe in pre-marriage sex and he's a wanker. And
I don't mind that. I remember someone was looking at a big pack of Trojans that I put on the counter, and the woman just looked at me with disgust, and I was like, "Hey, at least I'm using protection for my big cock."
Yeah, that's a good thing.
At least I'm not a bird. I'm creating things that will be a burden upon the state that your taxpayers' money
when I said that, she looked at me. When I said, like, at least I keep it wrapped, she looked at me and went, "Yeah, you want a piece, don't you?" And then I walked
Do you know what you
off.
should have said, though, Burhan? Do you know what you should have said?
What's
What?
that?
I'm gonna fill them with water and chuck them off the top of a building at pedestrians.
Water bombs. Oh God.
No, I wouldn't fill them with water. I'll fill them with something else, which is full of liquid.
No,
True story.
yeah, we're good.
Right, shut up, then. True story, by the way. If you want to, and allegedly, and I'm not saying I've ever done this, but if you want to water bomb someone, again,
What?
allegedly, off the top of a building,
With your penis.
it's far easier to fill Johnnies than it is to fill balloons.
Oh God.
Why?
And far easier to knot them as well. That's the real reason.
Okay.
Knotting a balloon is difficult. Knotting a Johnny is easy.
Okay.
Plus, they break easier. Although I remember the first time I water bombed someone with Johnnies, I remember thinking, they break really easily. How many children do I have?
They break very easily, but they last for days.
Mhm.
Durex.
Ah,
I hate
50
Durex
Shades.
commercial on TV right now, which is,
Speaking of 50
why
Shades
don't you
of
just
Dave.
say, it's a fucking Johnny, buy it if you don't want to have kids? Why do we have to have 30 seconds of fucking 50 Shades of Grey
Sure.
acting box?
Wait, what?
Oh, our Johnny commercials in this country are fucking,
Weird.
like, yeah, it's almost like they've been directed by Peter
I do
Jackson.
love the fact where you're saying Johnny commercials. It makes you sound like you're talking about Johnny Millennium from the Happy Console Gamer.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, Johnny, I'm not talking about you. I'm just shut up, Burn. You're fucking English. We
I'm
don't
gonna,
call
you
them
know what, I'm
fucking
gonna
condoms. We call them
Photoshop. I'm gonna
Johnnies.
Photoshop. Like I'm gonna cut his head off and put a Johnny in its place, a Durex in his place, and just say Johnny Millennium.
To
No.
quote Rick Mail from the Young
He'll probably
Ones,
unfriendly,
when
but it'll be funny.
Yeah, probably.
to quote Rick Mail from the Young Ones when he insulted Neil, which is, "Oh, piss off, you rubber desk, Johnny." Johnny just rhymes off the mouth. It's art.
You
It's
worry
suave.
me, Dave. You worry me.
Well, no, think about it, right? You know, gonna have sex night? Yeah. Are you packing Johnnies? I'm packing Johnnies. Right. If you do it in any other country, like, gonna have sex night? I'm packing a Trojan. What, are you gonna invade a Roman Empire?
Trojans are for men.
I just call it protection. It's just easy that way.
Yeah, like you know. I remember
Johnny,
Mike-
Sarah, Johnny.
The Mike
Johnny's
Reed
brilliant.
joke where he goes to the woman, he goes, "Hey, did you bring protection? I tied my foot to the sink."
I
Oh,
put a board
jeez.
across my ass so I wouldn't fall in. So
Yeah, I'm wearing a rubber ducky. It's fine. Do you know what I find
It's a
weird?
bomber. We're good.
Do you remember they've actually released condoms that basically look like members of One Direction?
yes.
Ew.
So hey baby, let me just go and
you're
put
a
on my
bloke,
Zayn
right,
Malik.
maybe it'll get you laid with the bird who loves One Direction. But if you're a bloke and you're stirring down, you're how shall I word this? You're V8
This is gonna
and
be
you've got one of One Direction staring back up you. I'm pretty sure that's the quickest way to kill your fucking Woody. Oh, please do me with someone from One Direction. I'd love to, love, but I got Mackie Floppy because his face is staring at me and I feel under pressure.
creepy boner killer. Yeah, pretty much.
I do like the and I have used them. I do like the condoms that Johnnies that have the English flag on them. And I
God.
once said this, and it's true, which is, get ready, love. Here come the 3 lines. Actually, she only got 2, maybe 1.5, and I didn't roar. That's Burhan stick. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Burn and the boy. We never said it was relevant.
It is rather random, however, and awesome.
That's the point.
It's a random show about being random. So
Yeah.
yeah,
That's the whole point. It's not scripted. There's nothing about anything. It's just me and Burhan and our guest, you. Thank you for coming on, by the way, very much.
You're welcome. It's fun. I like to talk to you guys.
It's just us talking bollocks because we feel that so many podcasts are overly scripted and just kind of against being natural, if that makes sense. So me and Burhan, we start these shows. Usually my Wednesday vlog ties into it a bit, simply because my Wednesday vlog is something that irritates me and pisses me off. But it's just me and Burhan chewing the cud and talking about what happened this week.
With our special guests, thank you for Sarah for joining us this week.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. Seriously, thank you very much. It was awesome.
And I'm Michael Burhan. He's Mr. Dave Wade. Mr. Lawnboys Post 1975. You can find him on youtube.com/Lawnboys Post 1975. And I know you're going to say the creepy fucking thing. Go for it. Go on. Where can we find you, Dave?
You can find me when they finally split the atom that made the bomb they dropped on Hiroshima.
Dave Wade, ladies and gentlemen. You can find him all night. He's available everywhere, including tomorrow. We've got Slamcast, so make sure you join us for Slamcast, where we talk
I'm still only
wrestling.
halfway through WrestleMania, by the way, because my internet's kicked back in, so I'm going to cane it after this. But I'm really fucking enjoying. Sorry. No, I've only I'm up to. I got notes. Look how professional I am. I'm right at the start of the Sting match, so don't spoil.
Did you see his Terminator like entrance from Triple H?
No, I'm right at the start. I haven't seen any.
Okay.
But I will say this, because we talked about it last week on Slamcast, and I poo-pooed it, but I really enjoyed the ladder match. A lot more than I thought it would.
Yeah, I think the ladder match was great. But we'll talk about a lot more about that when it gets to Slamcast tomorrow. I got gameplay 8 PM this Saturday. I'm trying to figure out.
I'm not working Sunday as well, so I can be on. Yay. And also, we can do a movie files on Sunday if you want.
Yes, we can do a movie files on Sunday.
Never mind. I'm an idiot.
You know, and
what's the topic for I Got Gameplay?
I haven't decided yet. We're gonna make a decision on that.
The one console of any generation you would keep if you had to sell every other one.
That's a good
by the way,
topic.
Mr. Retrolam said, "Bless you all." Called it Cody Niche and good show, guys and girls. You're all a bunch of nutters, and yeah. So you find me on.
Oh my god! I turned into Tim Curry.
YouTube.com/DNerdGenius, ladies and gents. Michael Burhan, of course. You'll find me on there. I'm going to be on Slamcast tomorrow. Check out the newest video that I've got on there, which is Mr. Xander Scullion and his neon cat.
Fucking hilarious.
It's, as I said, it was just something I put together last minute, just to tide everyone over until I do the next Rather British review that's coming tomorrow. Got a new movie files coming as well, including Bill Murray Week. E-Tank, which is going to be debuting on Xander Scullion's channel. If you go to youtube.com.
Can I be on the movie files because my internet kicked me out last night and I couldn't properly be on the Bill Murray thing that I was really looking forward to.
Sure. The first one I'm going to do is basically my top 5 Murray moments. It's going to basically talk about the best films that I found for Bill Murray, but I'm going to be reviewing films that I haven't reviewed last time for Bill Murray Fortnight. So you can do that with me. That's totally fine.
Sweet.
It's going to be a week's worth of movie files, so it's going to be a lot. And there you go, ladies and gents. Anyway, check us out as well. I'm going to be at Play Blackpool Saturday and Sunday with Mr. Scott Bailey, Mr. Stephen Horton as well, Mr. Chris Weatherly, aka Novabug, and loads of other people from Retro Random as well.
I think we're forgetting something, by the way.
What's that?
Sarah, where can we find you?
Yes, Sarah, where can we find you? I do apologise.
You can mostly just find me on Facebook. I have an art page, so Sarah, S-A-R-A. Mortimer, M-O-R-T-I-M-E-R, and then illustration.
You also have a Tumblr as well, don't you?
Yeah, I have a tablet for my portfolio. That's just my name, Sarah Mortimer. Yeah, and then let's see. I'm gonna be, if anyone's in Vancouver, I'm gonna be at Fan Expo tomorrow. I think that's down at the Vancouver Convention Center in the downtown core.
Can you buy poutine in Vancouver, by the way? Just a quick question.
Sorry?
Can you buy poutine in Vancouver?
Yes.
There you go, Burhan. You're welcome to go there.
There you go. So, ladies and gents, I'm Michael Burhan. He's Dave Wade, and it's good night from him and good night from him. So we'll see you again for another Burhan the Boy.
And Sarah.
And Sarah.
Bye.